So I knew that launch was coming. Not only did I know that launch was coming, he's like, you can't say that they gave that we gave you the coin. I'm like, what do you mean? I have to say that.
Do not be fooled. What is happening in crypto right now is not what it seems. Yes, Donald Trump's massive, unprecedented tariffs are causing a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the crypto market. But do not be fooled. The biggest crypto news is happening now. Nobody else is talking about this. Number one, the SEC signals that they will be dropping their lawsuit against Coinbase. Number two, the SEC has formally accepted Grayscale's XRP and Dogecoin ETF applications for review. Number three, Tether might be coming to the US after US lawmakers pass their stablecoin bill. Number four, Citibank and other financial institutions at large are exploring and saying that they want to add crypto custody services. And what are we seeing because of all this? Whales, hedge funds, giants in the space are disclosing that they're buying 2.6 billion in Bitcoin, 182 million in Ethereum. Institutional investments in digital assets is growing at a pace beyond control. So do not be fooled by these short-term catalysts. Wall Street investor Bill Miller says despite the short-term headwinds for Bitcoin, he's a huge bull. Bitcoin's going a lot higher. This is his investment thesis. Listen to this.
Well, tariffs at the end of the day are inflationary. It's hard for me to say what every twist and turn means, but again, we look at it from a value investor's perspective. So there's really two elements to the investment thesis here. One is the conceptual valuation framework. I mentioned before, it's probably the new monopoly or will eventually get to that level as a check and balance against profligate government spending. And so gold has historically served that role. Bitcoin is going to serve that role in a much better way as it's automated, it's more transparent, it's transportable and more secure, and has a much more clear supply protocol. So from a conceptual valuation perspective, gold's valuation is 20 trillion. Bitcoin's at 2 trillion, so that would imply a fundamental intrinsic value of about $1 million of Bitcoin today. Then second, there's a game theory aspect to it, Scott, which is, at a 2 trillion market cap today, it's approaching 1% of the global basket for financial assets. And so if you don't own any Bitcoin today as an allocator, you're now effectively short the best performing asset for the better part of the past 2 decades. And then the other game theory way I think about it is the U.S. monetary policymakers have an explicit goal to devalue everything you own that's priced in dollars by 2 to 3% a year. So why wouldn't you take 2 to 3% of everything you own and stick it in a system entirely outside of the fiat system? And I think that's why a lot of companies are doing it. If you look at the global landscape today in public markets, a lot of companies are converging on a Bitcoin standard. There are now 70 companies on publicly traded exchanges around the globe that hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Everyone knows Strategy and some of these other companies that are much larger, but we have things like Tesla out there holding Bitcoin. There's Mercado Libre. Alliance Resource Partners is a coal company. So there are people adopting Bitcoin treasury strategies more and more every single year. And as other companies see companies do this and outperform, they're going to want some Bitcoin. So, there's only a certain number available.
Hey, Altcoin Daily Nation. You need to sign up for the Bitcoin Reward Credit Card by our partner Fold. You spend USD on credit and stack real Bitcoin with every purchase. Reserve your spot today. Only so many waitlist spots are being accepted. This is US only. This is the most baller way to stack Bitcoin. You whip out this nice metal Fold credit card and you earn real Bitcoin. This is better than Amex. This is better than Capital One. Use my link below and get on the waitlist immediately. In other news, the US Bitcoin Strategic Reserve may be happening sooner than we think. We're already seeing this on a state level as the Texas Bitcoin Reserve gets closer to being passed. In fact, crypto bills across the United States are stacking up. This week, 4 different states introduced crypto-related bills, bringing the number of U.S. states to introduce such legislation up to 9 in February alone, with 22 total looking into it. Elon Musk may be auditing the gold in Fort Knox soon. A Bitcoin reserve could be audited at any time 24/7 with basic computers. It's time to upgrade our reserves So Michael Saylor here articulates why we may be seeing a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve, with the United States maybe buying up 20% of the Bitcoin supply sooner than we think.
Bitcoin is capital. Bitcoin is not currency. Gold has been used as capital. It's not currency anymore. The very simple thing that the U.S. ought to do is they ought to sell the gold and buy Bitcoin with it and buy 20% of the Bitcoin network. It's very simple. Just swap the gold for Bitcoin. If anybody actually swaps out their treasury bills for Bitcoin, then the U.S. is going to own it all. It's kind of like just getting Alaska or the Louisiana Purchase for free. They could pretty much have 20% of the network for free overnight, just with a swap. They could even print the money. I mean, they could buy it for next to nothing. The only alternative to the treasury bill for anybody is Bitcoin. And so just do that, and Bitcoin becomes the world reserve capital network, and the U.S. will own both sides of the equation. They'll own the currency and the capital.
And finally, Dave Portnoy just pulled the curtain back on all of this. Now, maybe you've heard that the Argentinian president launched a coin very similar to the way Trump launched a coin. It was called Libra. It pumped, it dumped, it tanked 85% as the team reportedly dumped 87 million. It was always questionable how much the Argentinian president was actually involved. It seemed like he truly was involved, but now he admits to skipping the due diligence. This is the alleged scammer that he partnered with to make it all happen. And Barstool's Dave Portnoy on a space revealed everything. Dave Portnoy admits he knew about Libra before the launch. The Libra team tried to manipulate him, costing him his reputation. This is an incredibly juicy and interesting clip. Dave Portnoy exposes everything behind the corrupt Argentinian meme coin fiasco. Hey guys, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We put out one video every day, keeping you informed. If you're interested in making money in crypto, stay in tune with the market, hit subscribe. You're going to learn so much in this 3-minute clip, edited down from a 27-minute spaces. Just some of the things you'll learn. Hayden is this guy. Hayden told Portnoy about Milei, the Argentinian president's launch, ahead of time, and that Milei was fully in on it. When it launched, Portnoy bought a lot. Hayden also sent Portnoy a lot of free coins. Portnoy was about to post about how awesome Libra is, but refused to do it without disclosing that he had been given free tokens. Hayden told him he could not disclose, and things escalated from there. See you tomorrow, my friends. Listen to this.
I knew about this Argentinian coin coming. And now I've seen people be like, that's inside trading. You know this coin's coming, blah, blah. I don't, who cares if I know? He's like, yeah. And by the way, Hayden, I think I talked to him when he was in Argentina with Milei. So he's like, yeah, this is going to currency for Argentina. And again, man to man, this guy, Hayden, was like, this is good for Argentina, believed in Milei. He showed me a picture of him with Milei, the one that everyone's showing. Obviously, to me, it's like, all right, that's instant credibility. It's like the president of a country. So I knew that launch was coming. Not only did I know that launch was coming, he tried to get me involved, Hayden did, in the launch in what I thought was a good way. It was basically like, this guy is trying to change the country. I researched the out of him. Milei, like what's he stand for? What's he into? I actually liked, prior to what happened, like a lot of his policies. Like, a mini Trump-ish type guy, some differences, but it's like, this guy's turning the country around. The currency seemed like a pretty good president. So what I thought the deal was going to be with Milei was, he's like, Hayden's like, and I'm talking to Hayden a lot. And he's like, yeah, I'm talking to Milei about you. He knows who you are because I obviously dabble in politics. And like, we want you to support the launch of the coin and then come meet with Milei and like introduce the world to Milei basically on America and like do the political thing. Like you sat down with Trump in the White House, do an interview with him. Now, how much of this is all being translated to me? Like, all right, yeah, like that sounds good. So I thought I was in kind of this project, which again, to me is totally fine. Like, all right, I'm going to get coins before this thing goes to like 100 billion. I'm on the ledger. I'm going to sit down with him. Now, here's where it gets a little weird. I, obviously, if I'm getting coins, no, I got to tell people. I'm not going to tweet about this launch and act like I'm just, oh, Malay's the best. I love this guy. and not mention that they had given me coins. So this launch happens, right? And by the way, I bought a shit ton of it, not like inside or nothing. They never gave me the coins before the launch. Malay tweets about it. And I'm like, here it goes. This thing's going to the moon. I like this guy. I'm loading in my account. And again, it wasn't my main because I didn't want people sniping. I wanted to let it go fair. So, but obviously, by the time Malay tweeted about it, I was super late. So I'm buying because it's the president of a country. In my head, it's like I knew it was coming. Trump's went nuclear. It's the fucking president of a country. I told you I had a wild story. So the thing launches, and Hayden is like, you're in the ledger. You're in the marketing program that we built for this. And he's like, sends me, I think it was 6 million coins, something like that, maybe 6.5. I forget what it was. And again, I wasn't overly surprised that I got the coins because he told me I was in the plan. So he does that, and I'm getting ready to tweet like, hey, this is a great launch. Malay is a great launch. Great launch. Get ready to tweet it, this, that, the other thing. And I send it to Hayden. And I'm like, this is what I'm going to say. I'm proud to be part of this project. I like what he's doing in Argentina. I bought a lot of my own, but they also gave me coin. And he's like, you can't say that they gave that we gave you the coin. I'm like, what do you mean? I have to say that. He's like, well, no, then it seems like you're an insider. And this, I think we got confused. Like I knew about it before. Whatever the case, they're like, no, you can't say that we gave you coins. I'm like, well, I can't accept coins if you don't let me say you gave me coins and I'm part of the project. So I literally sent the coins back.